Well, hi. Welcome back to the Bookcast. This is author D.L. White, Atlanta-based author of romantic fiction featuring Black men and women. You can reach me at my website at booksbydlwhite.com or shoot me an email at authordl@booksbydlwhite.com. You can also hit me on most social media platforms. I'm author D.L. White just about anywhere. It has been a minute since I've been in the recording studio. I'm using gratuitous air quotes because the recording studio is just my bedroom with my mic plugged into my laptop and I'm looking at the wall. But it's been a minute since I've been on the mic. I apologize. I don't have a story to read for you today, but that's a little bit why I'm here because I just feel like I need to chat. And what better way to talk through my feelings and goals and plans about books that I hope to bring to the bookcast than to get on this mic and record something out for you. So, what have I been doing since the last episode of the bookcast, which was the final chapter and the epilogue of The Neverlist, which I hope you have all purchased and read and enjoyed. I absolutely love that book. It's near and dear to my heart. I've heard a lot of really great comments about Trey and Esme. Trey is clawing his way to the top of my favorite heroes. Gibson sits at the top. Gibson's pretty choice, but Trey is pretty far up there, and I really like Cade from Leslie's Curl and Die. But Trey's making his way up there. He's a good solid number two. And Esme is my girl. She's probably one of my favorite heroines. So that book has done really well. I've been so grateful and thankful for the good reception for that book. And even the people that didn't like it gave some super good feedback about what they didn't like. I didn't read too many of those, but valid. Your opinion and your points are valid, and I welcome that all. If you haven't read that book, please go to booksbydlwhite.com/books and pick that up in ebook or print. I also read it here for the bookcast last year, so if you look back on past episodes, you can hear that for free. It is, of course, not any kind of professional narration, but it's free, and so you get what you pay for. So I'm here basically to talk about what's coming up next because I don't really have any idea, to be honest with you. Actually, I have some ideas. It's just getting them out on paper is my issue. It's been, a minute really since like I said, since I've been here on the mic, and so much of last year was just trying to stay busy, and y'all know why, and y'all know what was going on, and a lot of y'all were doing the same. I read a lot. I edited and released A Thin Line, which is my hate to happily ever after enemies to lovers second chance black romance. It's very tropey, and I'm gonna be honest, A Thin Line is a fun book. It's really, really fun. If you're super precious about romance and it all has to be happy, dippy, lovey, fluffy, A Thin Line is not for you. If you want to read two people that so quite obviously are into each other and just don't see it, and their friends have to force them back together to get them to see it, you want to pick up A Thin Line. I really love that book. So go ahead and grab that one. So I put that one out. It is not in audio. I'm currently kind of saving to put it out in professional audio. I did put out The Guy Next Door in audio, which is just a really, really cute book. I do love that book. If you love, like, all your guy groups of the 90s, you'll really like The Guy Next Door. That's book 2 in the Potter Lake series. Um, and then I wrote and released The Neverlist, and among other things, like, updating my covers and redoing my website. And I just had a lot of little projects going on where I just needed to stay busy. And that really pushed me all the way through to January. And I thought, well, I should be able to just breathe a sigh of relief and then just take a little break and then just hop right back into writing. And unfortunately, I did not hop right back into writing. If you know me as a writer, you know I take long breaks between books. I need a big span of time to disconnect and separate from those books that I just wrote. Otherwise, I feel like I'm writing the same book over and over, and I hate that. Hate it. I can't read the same book over and over. I can't write the same book over and over. I just refuse to do it. It's boring to me. I physically can't do it. So I've been reading and kind of just trying to coast and take breaks, and decided I haven't hit a beach since spring of 2019. Right after I came back from my May trip, I was ill and had to pause travel to take care of my health issues. And then we had, 2020 and the whole year, just throw the whole year in the trash. So I decided, since I'm fully vaccinated and things seem to be under control, I'm going to take a chance, book a trip, hit my favorite beach, and really enjoyed myself. And usually, when I go on a beach trip, I call it a writing retreat because all I ever do is read and write. I am not a roller coaster kind of gal. I am not a go visit art galleries kind of gal. I want beach, and I want food, and I want peace and quiet so I can think. I'm very, very much a thinker. If you've ever taken Becca Syme's Strength Finders course, you'll know we have, these list of like 32 strengths, and the ones at your top are the ones that are like, those are the ones that drive and move you. And intellection is number one for me. I just collect information, and I need to think and think and think and think. And the book has to pretty much write itself in my head before I can even put pen to paper. So I just needed time to think and to get my mind right about this book that I want to write. And my idea, which is what I told myself last year, was just pick something easy that you could, pick through and finish. I always have like stacks of stuff I'd started writing. I have 8 chapters, and then I hit a wall, and I'm like, well, put this away. It'll come back later. Like Curl and Die did that. Dinner at Sam's did that. A Thin Line did that. And so Neverless was something I started in maybe 2016, and I put it away, and I thought, yeah, dig that out, finish it, put it out. You'll have something fun to promote through summer and fall. And so I told myself the same thing this year. Just dig something out, finish it. You'll have something fun to promote. And so I chose The Pearl on Black Diamond Bay. It is a follow up to Beach Thing, which was not intended to ever be a series. It was supposed to be one and done. But I did leave a couple of windows open for a second story. It'll be a duology. I seriously don't see the series going past 2 books, because it would absolutely be torture trying to pull more story out of this book. So, never say never, but a duology is all we're getting from Black Diamond. So, if you've read Beach Thing, we met Amina and Wade in that book, and Amina's parents are kind of real bougie, hoity-toity, and they want to eat when they come to visit her on Black Diamond. They want to go to the ritzy end of the island. There's the casual and beach tourist end, and there's the ritzy resident end of the island. And one of the popular stores out there is Clink's, which is where Amina takes her parents to eat for dinner, and they grill her about Wade, and they talk about all their plans for her, um, and all of that. You should grab that book and read it. It's only 99 cents, and it's a really fun, beachy black romance. This podcast is called DL White Pitches All of Her Books to You at One Time. So I'm not ashamed. So the hole that I left in that book is that Dion, who works for Amina and runs Tiki's and Cream while Amina is doing other things, I won't spoil the book for you, but Dion has a friend who moves to Black Diamond to work at this high-end hotel at the ritzy end of the island. And the deal with this hotel is that it's not a monstrosity, but it's a large structure. Like, you can see the thing from the mainland, which is what the owner of the hotel says about it. Like, I don't understand why you can't fill rooms at this hotel. You can see the damn thing from the mainland. So we know Black Diamond is a man-made fictional cluster of islands off the coast of Texas. Think Galveston, but bigger. Um, and so at this hotel, the new GM is named Davis Scott. He is a very uptight man. And he is quite worried about his job because he can't seem to book rooms at this hotel. He can't seem to sell condos at this hotel. This is it's a sort of like a mixed use community where they have rooms for rent. You can also rent condos, and you can also purchase condos. So you would retire and buy a condo on Black Diamond, and then that's just where you would spend the rest of your days in luxury. So Dion's friend, her name is Kari Savoy, is moving to Black Diamond to work at this hotel called the Pearl. The Pearl is a mess. It's a literal mess. Like, they just cannot get off the ground. And a lot of it is leadership, and some of it is that Davis is a man who really only knows how to do one thing, and that's run a hotel. He's not a marketing manager, he's not an events manager, he's not a salesperson, but he's good at telling people what to do. And he's super worried about his job, like I said, and he brings on this marketing and events person to sort of kick off the summer at the Pearl. And she has some great ideas, and it's the trope is a little bit grumpy sunshine. Kari is very upbeat. She's super excited. She's young. She's motivated. She's got great ideas, and she is ready to roll. And Davis is very old school. We've just never done that. I just don't see how that can work. And so Kari's just gonna have to like really push him and really get him to see that she knows what she's doing, and she can connect with the people that can bring people to the island and to the hotel. So that's where I am with the Pearl. And this is the third time I have restarted this book because I initially had Davis with certain characteristics, and then decided I don't want to fight with people about those characteristics because I can't write that the right way. And so I had to pull that out, and I'm just sort of going back and reforming Davis. Um, he is still really uptight. He's still a little bit shy. He's still very work oriented, but I've been thinking about the traits that I need to bring out in him and building his past, because one thing I don't particularly need to like a character in a book. I just need to be able to understand their motivation. That's why villains can sometimes be my favorite character in a book, because I really get where they're coming from, and I need to understand where Davis is coming from. And I want the reader to be able to feel his fear and feel his stress about the state of the hotel, and sort of feel the importance of having a good event to kick off the summer at the hotel, because that's going to push everything forward through the end of the year. He's also super nervous about Kari because, while she has had years of experience at resort hotels, she's a little bit green to a large resort. She's green to selling condos. She's sort of green to this kind of property, but he's desperate. And she's right in his office, and he's like, hey, why not? If we go, if we're both going down with the ship, then I guess we're going to go down having a good time. So that's a little bit where I am. And as usual, I know the heroine a whole lot more than I know the hero. And so I tried to spend some time during my vacation / writing retreat to really dig into Davis and his past, and why he is the way he is. Where did he come from? What's he running from? What's his wound? And also working through Romancing the Beat. These two people have to be clearly attracted to one another. This is a romance, so there should be a clear attraction, but they should also fight this attraction because they're employee employer, and they're sort of in a superior insubordinate situation, which can be a little bit dicey. But I don't mind dicey. Y'all know I don't really care. So those are sort of the thoughts that are rolling around in my head, and I'm getting really super close to the point where I just have to sit down and write. And because there's going to be so much rolling around in my head that I can't help but just sit down and write anymore. And I was hoping I would get to that point while I was on vacation, but I didn't. I really only felt like just doing a lot of reading for inspiration, a lot of writing and planning. I do have pages and pages of notes, and I did sort of a synopsis of what has to happen in the book, so that I have a good guide. But I'm also not much of a planner. Planning for me is like writing the whole book, and now I'm not interested. So I'm trying not to plan too much and let a lot of discovery happen while I'm writing the book. But I also need a roadmap, because I will absolutely wander around for 144,000 words, and nobody wants to read that. Trust me, nobody wants to read that. And so in order to have myself not wander around forever and then have to go back and edit and rewrite to get it, a nice tight 60, 70, 80,000 words max. I sort of I need some lily pads to jump. So that's where I am in a little bit of my process of writing that book. I also have another book I'm thinking of. When I was on vacation, I met up with one of my friends who is an entrepreneur, and she's getting ready to do so many awesome things. And I can't wait to see everything come to fruition. But like everything she tells me, I'm like, okay, I need to ask you 12 questions about this, because I have this book I'm writing where the person does this. And then we would talk about something else, and I would say, what do you think about this, because I have this book that I'm writing, and here's the situation. So everything revolves around a book that I'm writing lately. But anyway, I lost my thought as to where I was going with that. But that's sort of where I was this weekend, and what I was thinking about. And like, my goal before the end of July has to be to get this whole thing on paper. Like, if I could do like a 2-page synopsis, which really helped me write my first book, then I have my lily pads, a jump from here to here to here to here with my plot points, without completely planning out the whole thing and boring myself while I'm writing it. Um, I also have a lot of interpersonal workings between Kari and her siblings, and Davis and his past, and Davis and a current friend he's made at the hotel. Um, I don't write simple books, so it's hard for me to just sit down and crap out a book that's, 25,000 words. I don't write short books. Like, my shortest book is Beach Thing, and I still feel like I could have added 20,000 words to that book. I do have the novellas, but they are purposely really short because they're holiday books. So writing a short book is difficult for me, and because I have always have so much that I want to add to the story that I feel is important. There's things the reader needs to know about their past and their personality and who they are and why they are that way. You need to understand. And so um, that's kind of the jumble that's in my mind right now about the Pearl, and also about Still I Rise, which is another Potter Lake book that I hope to have out before the end of the year. And I don't know if that's going to be closer to Christmas, or if I'm going to be able to jump right into that and try to get it out, early fall, and then have a Christmas release. I do have something that I half wrote last year for Christmas, but I was having a wisdom tooth out, and I was on pain pills, and I was like, listen, I don't know who I am trying to fool, but I am not writing a book in December because I am high. so so for the first year in, like, 3 years, I didn't have a holiday short, which really hurt my own feelings. So I'm trying not to slack this year, but also trying to give myself some grace and just know that I was super busy last year. And, you can only go so fast for so long before you hit a wall and you have to sit down. At the same time, I feel like I've been sitting down for a while. I've been on a break since October, and I should really be able to get some words out. But, no matter how many challenges I join and how many, word count goals I set, I sit and I look at that screen, and I'm not ready to write. I have not thought about it enough. And so This weekend was really about getting out of town and getting some uninterrupted time to think and to plan and to let that book write itself in my head. I do think I'm at a really good spot to begin again, and we'll see how it goes. I am going to try to update here occasionally on the Bookcast just to give listeners an idea of where I'm at. It's also much easier to speak this than to blog it. So I'll probably try to use this platform to give some updates on where I'm at. And as I get closer to publication and possibly recording that book for the Bookcast, I don't know if I'm going to do professional narration, or if it's short enough, I might do it for the Bookcast, because a lot of those short books, it's not worth the money to put it out in audio. So it's easier for me to just record it for the Bookcast. But those decisions will come after I have finished the book and I know what the heck I'm doing, because right now I don't. I'm just kind of flailing around. I always have really good story ideas, but the execution lacks majorly. So I can always say I can start a book like nobody's business, but finishing the book is a problem, which I think a lot of authors have. I literally don't know how authors can just sit down and like crap out a book. I literally don't. It takes a minute for me. So, but knowing myself and knowing what it's going to take to get this book out is the first battle. And now that I know, and I know I really shouldn't fight it, the book is going to come when it comes. It's done when it's done, and not a second sooner. And when that moment comes, I will be sure to let y'all know. Y'all know I don't shut up about my books at all. I'm always talking about my books. If you follow me anywhere, you know I'm always talking about my books. So I love them. I am very proud of them. I hope you love them. And I hope if you enjoy them, that you are sharing them with your friends and family. Absolutely welcome that. So now comes the time to just really sit and write. And so I'm going to get to that. And I will try to do some regular updates here on progress and how that's coming. And until then, I hope you are well, and we will chat soon.